Hello, my name is Amy. I am your master tutor from Rockstar Math Tutoring, here to talk to you today about math education and the general flow of what happens with our kids and their interest in STEM education as we progress from elementary to college. So let's jump into it. So in elementary, if you ask young kids, kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth grade, you are going you are going to hear a lot of, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a scientist, I want to be a vet. I am interested in some sort of STEM field. STEM field is a go, we want to do that. However, studies have shown in middle school something happens where kids start to say, I don't think I can be a scientist. So why is that? What's going on here? Now, then we get to high school, and here's where the rubber kind of hits the road. Here where we're starting to take algebra 2, right, pre-calc. Some students are in calculus. Maybe some students are. Why are some seniors ahead than others? And then we go on to college, and that's where the rubber really hits the road hard because we take something called a placement test. Okay, so there's this placement test that happens in between high school and college where sometimes students have to retake algebra 2 or retake trigonometry and then start all over. Or maybe they just need a stats class for their major, but they have to retake algebra 1 or retake algebra 2. And it becomes this like cycle of like, I'm bad at this, and like this sad face just gets worse. So by the time you ask kids when they're teenagers or in college, the number that want to go be STEM majors is very low. You're looking at 10 to maybe 30% of students, where back in elementary, we were looking at 80 to 90% of students have some interest in some STEM fields. So there's a huge decline. There's a lot of questions as to why this is happening. Some of it has to do with socioeconomic status. Some has to do with identities. Girls have a tendency to pull back from science and math in middle school. And there's a lot of theories as to why. There's a lot of people, coming at this from different angles. So I'm going to tell you my thoughts on this coming from a math educator, being a tutor. So I worked primarily with high school age students for 20 years. So I have 20 years of experience of working one-on-one with high school students, plus I taught college. Okay, and I primarily taught the students who are coming in and retaking these classes. These have a 50% fail rate, just in general across the country, and 90% of students do not test into a college level class when they come out of high school. So we are not producing out of high school. Here's a huge fail point between high school and college where students are not coming in college ready. If you're trying to major in STEM, you need to take not only Calc 1, but Calc 2, maybe Calc 3, differential equations, linear equations. You're talking several years of mathematics. If you come in behind and you add on another year or two of math on top of that, your chances of being successful in the STEM major become very small. And students know this, and countless students I have seen change their major or drop out or even not finish college over getting their math credit. Now let's go back to high school and talk about what's going on there. In high school, what I did as a tutor for these 20 years was filled in the gaps that were happening in middle school. Okay, so coming out of elementary, everyone's having fun, playing with slime, right? Playing with marble runs, we're doing arithmetic, math, and everyone's very excited about math. Then we get into middle school and we're starting to do pre-algebra, algebra 1, and suddenly math gets kind of hard. If your students do not have a solid foundation right here in elementary, those gaps are going to start in middle school. And by the time they get to high school, you're hiring me, the tutor, to start filling in those gaps from elementary and middle school to ensure that they're being successful in high school. Now, if you learn the math in high school, which is different than getting a good grade, if you actually learn and understand the math, which a tutor will help you do in high school, they're going to help you pass. They want everyone to pass in high school. If you show up, you turn in all your assignments, you have good attendance, you do well in high school. But if you don't actually learn it and pass this placement test, then you end up starting this cycle all over in college, and most likely you're going to end up crashing and burning. They just get harder and harder when you skim by with C and then you skim by with another C, and then you're in the next class. It's like, man, I didn't really get all this, and now it's all piling up on me. So I'm just going to major in, something else. So we don't want our kids giving up on their dreams. We want to give a solid foundation from the start. start with enrichment classes early. In middle school, make sure they're keeping up with that pre-algebra and algebra 1. And in high school, make sure they're really getting that strong foundation and keeping up, not scraping by with C's, not scraping by barely understanding, and they're ready for this placement exam, or even better yet, an AP exam, so they can get that college credit early. So this is why I think most students are stepping away from engineering, science, and technology. We want our kids to have those high-skilled jobs, right? We want them to have those, and so we want them to have a solid foundation in mathematics. It doesn't matter if you want to be a computer scientist, a bio, if you want to go into nursing, psychology, any of the social sciences, they require calculus in college. In order to get there and have a smooth sailing and not give up on our kids' dreams, you got to give them that solid foundation in math right from the start.